freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to Gun Freedom Radio. We are coming to you from the floor of the GOA, Gun Owners of America Goals Event 2025. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan.
And we are excited to be sitting down with our amazing friend. Another guy, that's true. Zeke Stout. And if you don't know who Zeke Stout is, you are missing out. You want to stick around, right?
That was nice.
We can set that to music.
I don't know who's Zeke Stout.
Well, we're going to introduce you right now.
Oh, this guy right here?
Yes, yeah.
So
I know him.
I still use bubble gum.
So if you haven't already seen the interview with Michael Sodini, Zeke made a special appearance that you're not going to want to miss. And it was a little bit exactly like what's happening right now. So I'm going to do my best to wrangle this interview back on its track.
She's interviewed me before. I don't know why she thinks she can do that.
I know.
Does she really think she can do that?
It's not a good goal to have. It really isn't.
But I'll do it though. I'll ask Zeke, what is the MGS?
Oh, MGS? My shirt? Oh, that is good. So I'm part owner of MGS Trade School. It's an online gunsmithing college. So we teach gunsmithing distance education. We send out hands-on projects. They send them back to us. We grade them. It's a really, really good program. We really enjoy it, and we have a lot of students.
So who's this for? For anybody that wants
Anybody?
to?
Our primary demographic is that, 26, 28 to 65. It's somebody who has another career and they want to work in the gun industry, or they just really want to get into the gun world. Let's say they've been an accountant at a toothpaste factory for 30 years and they're like, I love guns. I want to work in guns. I have no passion for toothpaste. Mm-hmm. So they come to us. They want to enroll in the school. We have 3 different programs. We have a basic program, an advanced program, and an advanced 2. They're not concurrent. You don't have to take them in order or anything. You can just pick one. What I tell people, the basic is kind of like I want to dip my toes in the water. I want to figure out if I want to do this, or I work in the industry already. I'd like to have a certificate behind my name. So they already have that basic knowledge and they just want to get that certificate. But it does teach you a lot on gun repair, maintenance, and everything else. Advanced is more of our, I want to be a gunsmith. And this is what I want to do. So it's got more curriculum, it's got more hands-on projects. And then Advanced 2 is the same thing as Advanced 1 as far as curriculum goes, except at the end you get to pick a build out of 4 builds that we have, and that's your final capstone project. And you finish that project, and then when you graduate, because it's more of an entrepreneurial route, we have up to almost $1,400 worth of tools that they get, that they can start a shop in their garage or go to some shop that already exists, say, hey, I have everything I need, let's get this thing going.
So what are the types of guns that you would start somebody off with?
Nerf guns.
Nerf guns?
Yep.
Well, I was going to ask you.
There is a big need for gunsmithing of Nerf guns.
There is. I think I should need to start an MGS of Nerf.
And those water blasters.
Well,
exactly.
I have to be honest with you. I've been a gunsmith all my life, but when you start talking about toothpaste, I'd like to know how to put toothpaste in a tube.
That's true.
So
I want to create a toothpaste gun. It'll be like a caulking gun.
Oh, yeah.
But it'll be toothpaste. You just take the brush and go from there.
Why do they call it toothpaste? It's teeth paste. There's more than one tube.
Okay, moving right along.
Brush more than one?
Yes.
Oh.
Been doing it wrong all this time?
My bad.
The things you learn when you watch Gun Freedom Radio.
What kind of guns does the person want to start with?
Pretty much everything. With our builds, I'll just say the very first project you get, right? We give an old beat up M1 Grand stock. It's all scratched up. You've got to refinish it, you've got to sand it, you've got to stain it, and then you send it back to us and we grade it. So everything from an old M1 Grand stock to an AR-15. We run the gamut. As far as the builds go, you get a choice between a Traditions muzzleloader, and it's the old school like American long rifle. So there's a lot of traditions there.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it's got some historical aspects to that. And then we have a Alpha Foxtrot 1911, which is when people ask which build should I pick, and I'm like, how much gunsmithing do you want to do? Because as you know, a 1911, there's a lot of little parts in there, a lot of moving parts, and you got to get the fit and finish just right. Then we have I'll tell you about the new one in a second. Then we have a AR-15 from Rogue Ops, and it's an amazing rifle. So they get to choose from and then we're launching a new one. When will this go to air?
Within the next couple of weeks. We're in August 9th, I think, right now.
Okay. So we just launched.
Okay.
Got to figure out the timing when it goes. We just launched a new build with Ross Martin, and it's the RM1C. It's their striker-fired pistol. Lots of people are coming to market with new striker-fired pistols, and we wanted to have a good striker-fired pistol that we serve the entire country, right? So unfortunately, there are some states that have issues with certain things, California being one of them, and they have a list.
Is that a state still?
It's crazy. It's the most beautiful state we have in this country. I mean, I know a lot of people argue, but it's beautiful. Top to bottom, you've got every climate, you go to Southern California, it's always 70 degrees. It's amazing. But their rules, their laws, their cost of living is like, how? What in the world? But anyways, they have a list of preferred manufacturers. So not only do you have to jump through the first hoop and make sure it's California compliant, they have a list of manufacturers that they allow to sell firearms in their state. If you're not on that list, even if you're compliant with their rules, too bad, so sad. Ross Martin is on there. So we do have that option for California students to take it and get that Ross Martin build. It's an amazing pistol. I don't know if y'all shot it yet or not.
I haven't.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I went to an event 2 years ago and I met Chris, the owner. Great guy. If you ever get a chance to go to one of these shows and meet him, go talk to him. He's an amazing, amazing guy. And they were loading each magazine with 4 or 5 rounds to conserve ammo, not any reason like functionality. So I said, all right, dude, I'm in the gunsmithing world. I teach gunsmithing. Let me mag dump. I said, I got to see if this thing will run. He's like, all right. So it kind of took me, it felt like a little behind closed doors deal. He's like, here you go. And he handed me a full magazine. And I did it once and I did it twice and it was flawless. So then I got one for myself. It's actually what I'm carrying right now. And I'm probably pushing 1,000 rounds now. I haven't gone much past that. I have not had a single malfunction. I've not had any stovepipe. I've never had any kind of failure to fire. It runs like a top. And it feels, the profile, it's weird. It's not as steep a grip as like the SIGs, but it's not as angled a grip as a Glock. It's this sweet spot, this little middle ground of the grip angle. So that's really nice. The profile kind of feels when I'm carrying it like my SIG P365. It's very similar to that. But yeah, it's a great gun. So all that to say, that's now one of our build options when you finish the course.
Now? You sold me one.
So when somebody does that build, is there fitting required or is it basically a symbol gun?
So with that one, it is just going to be assembly because most of the fit and finish, because it's a polymer pistol, it's already, they print it, not print it out, but they press the polymer together and it's already done. With the 1911, there is a little bit. We make them put some lapping fluid on the rails and make sure it's smooth and fits there. And with 1911, sometimes even you get the safety in there just slightly wrong, the slide's not going to sit. There's so many different things with the 1911. Even the barrel, the little, I never remember the name of it, the little floppy nut thing.
Locking.
Yes, thank you. I like floppy nut thing better.
I do too. Really.
Yes. But
is that okay on a PG show? Yeah, I think it's okay.
Yes, like the tool stuff.
Okay, all right, I got you.
That might not be, never mind. But if you don't get that to sit just right, the slide won't go all the way in the battery. So, the 1911s, there's a little more fit and finish. Oddly enough, it is our least selected build. The most gunsmithing you get as far as well-rounded things you do is on that Traditions muzzle.
Right.
It is a simple firing mechanism. It's a percussion cap. Boom, fire goes boom, it goes out the barrel. There's no weird pieces, but there's metalwork fitting. There's woodwork. There's pinning, different parts of the metal parts that go to the stock, there's all these little things that seem, you look at the gun and you're like, that is the simplest thing in the world. But you get a more well-rounded skill set out of it. You get the woodwork, you get the metal work, you get all these different things out of it. So I tell people when they say, you know, what's the most gunsmithing I get? Okay, 1911. What's the most skill sets I get? Traditions muzzleloader.
Right, because once you learn the basics of that, then you can pretty well tackle anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my challenge is 1911 has always been a challenge for me because there's so much you can do to a 1911.
Yep.
So I would say break in with the traditions.
Yep.
Maybe go to like the AR.
Yep.
Because it's kind of a put together gun. But the 1911 is for the more advanced.
Yep.
Would you think?
It is. It's not advanced as far as like technology where it's come.
Right.
But advanced is so many things you have to get just right
to get a good gun,
and little parts. You know, AR-15, it's Legos for adults.
Right.
You know, it's plug. I have a gun.
Yes.
You know, with the 1911, it's like the safety has to fit just right, and then all the trigger bore, and, you know, all the different things you've got to get just right. It is, definitely the most advanced skill set.
So when I do if I did a traditions, how do you grade me on that? Do I send the gun back to you?
So what we do is we have everybody film a video, and they have to show that it's fired. They have to take pictures of different angles of the gun. They have to prove that they were safe in the firing of it and that it works. We don't send it back just because that requires FFL transfers and everything. We thought about it at first and we're like, no, that's good. I mean, there's an extra, depending on how much the FFL charges, you know, could be another $150 just to get their gun graded. So we found, and we're an accredited school, we make sure everything's approved, that it is okay for us to get a video of them showing the functions. They have to do a functions check on video. Then they have to actually take it somewhere and fire it and show that it not just fired, but it cycled another round if it's a semi-auto.
Very cool. So I'm excited about this for so many reasons, because we had a small gun shop for about 20 years, AZ Firearms. He keeps threatening that. No. Anyway.
Retirement's boring, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, he wouldn't even know. He wouldn't even know. He's just afraid to find out, I think. Anyway, AZ Firearms, we're now AZ Firearms Auctions, but when we had that, there was such a need for gunsmithing. Yeah. And there were so few gunsmiths even available. So I'm excited that there's a school out there and that we've landed at a time in history when you don't have any on-site students, right? This is all distance learning.
This is all distance learning. Yeah, it's one of those things where, because this is typically a career change, there's not a whole lot of kids in high school going, I want to be a gunsmith. There are some. I talk to them. They're like, can I enroll in it? Yes, you can at 18 when you graduate, because you have to be able to purchase a firearm. But to get a pistol in most states, it's 21. So
we're working on
if you want to do the pistol, you got to wait till you're 21. So a lot of our students are 21 and up. But like I said, not a lot of high school kids are going, I want to be a gunsmith. I'll pause for you.
We're not done. We're pausing for the announcement. Okay. So there's going to be an edit.
There you go. So, we were talking about gunsmiths.
Not a lot of kids.
Not a lot of kids are into the gunsmithing world until they get older. And there are a lot of people in that age group that can't just uproot their entire lives and move to, 6 or 8 brick and mortar gunsmith colleges across the entire United States. You know, that's where you can go to the school and take it there on hand. Well, not only that, a lot of them are junior college. Guess what? No dorms. So they have to rent an apartment. They have to move across the country. They have to get accepted, and then they have to get a job to be able to afford to go in there. So it's a difficult course to take, brick and mortar, unless you live in the place where that brick and mortar school is. So there are several distance learning ones like ours. I actually used to work for one of them. But one thing I always wanted to do was have more hands-on. This is a very hands-on centric program, a skill, trade. And unless you have that, it's hard to actually teach it, right? So that's one thing we do. We have 8 hands-on projects, everything from refinishing the stock we already talked about, to soldering, and this is where everybody's like, oh, that'll be easy. Soldering 2 pieces of metal together. It's not easy.
That's not even close to being easy.
Yeah, it is our most complained about project because people think back to whenever they learned to solder a wire to a motherboard on a computer.
Different.
It's like, no, that's not like that. Well, it doesn't work. It's not connecting. And I'm like, did you use flux? Did you clean the pieces? Do you have the right angles? You know, did you follow the instructions?
Zeke, I had a family member that was past 60 years old that would come to me. He'd been around guns all his life and worked on guns.
Yeah.
He could never solder. And I always rubbed it in his face because I knew how to solder.
Yeah.
But it's an art.
It is. It really is. And you know, we even teach people, and you know this, there are so many guns that gunsmiths get into their shop. The majority of them are not AR-15s that are easy to buy a part for. They're not brand new Glocks that you can order a part from on Brownells or wherever else. They are old grandpa's guns that have not worked anymore. They want to get them working again. Oh, guess what? Those tools don't exist anymore. You can't even order them. So we teach them how to fabricate their own hand tools. So that's one of the projects.
That's amazing.
They learned how to fabricate a hand tool. It's for old Ruger revolver is the tool we do. But just kind of teaching them, hey, you're going to have to do this. I mean, every good gunsmith I know personally, I can go to their shop and they've got a bucket of tools they had to make themselves.
Right.
And that's something. That's a skill you have to have.
And if you can make tools, then you can make the parts, help modify the parts to work.
Exactly.
So the best. When I was a kid, my dad would throw a gun on the table with all the parts, put it back together.
Yeah.
And we didn't have internet, we didn't have books, you know, we just did it. And we learned. And I think starting with what you're doing is a great skill because it helps people decide where they want to go with that.
Exactly.
And so the hands-on with the tradition. I'm not a black powder guy, but it's a mandatory. I think you should take that.
Yeah,
because you're going to need to fit a stock. You're going to need to fit grips. And so the woodwork, and then when the metal meets the wood, how to fit that. So I think it's great.
I've actually written the curriculum for all 4 of our builds. And to do that, I had to build them. The hardest one for me was that muzzle loader. Because I'm thinking, oh, that's easy. It's all in place. Their Traditions actually sells them as build kits. So I'm thinking, oh, well, they've got this down to a science. They do. But as I start putting it together, I'm like, oh, I got to make what fit where? And why isn't it fitting there? This is a very soft wood. I could just hammer. Nope, you got to make it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So there were so many different layers to that build that as I'm doing it, I'm like, this is going to be the biggest one for developing a broad range of skills in gunsmithing.
And there's a build and then there's a build. I mean, where you build it just to get by, or where you build it where you've got a piece of art that you can put on your mantle.
And that's what mine is. It's a piece of art. We have a room called the Hemingway room. It's got a big antler over the fireplace. It's a reading, no TVs, nothing. And I've just got my American long rifle sitting out on the coffee table.
Oh, I love that. I bet it's beautiful. So there's been a real hunger lately for more people to get into the trades, more people coming into the trades rather than going to, 4-year university. We even hear Mike Rowe, the Dirty Jobs guy. He's talking about it. I mean, he has been for many years.
Oh, yeah.
But it feels like right now the message is really resonating. And this is a trade, right?
It is.
And so it's a skill that you can learn, that you can make your full-time job. It's a skill you can learn to make your side job, right? We were talking earlier that in our world, being self-employed, you've got to maximize every minute. And when Dan was our gunsmith at AZ Firearms, it was actually his Zen time, right?
Yeah.
Plus it was making some good side money. So it was wonderful. So college is expensive. This sounds like it should be an expensive program. Talk to us a little bit about that. Is there student financing? Like, how about that piece of it? So
we don't do Title IV funding. You have to be a degree granting school to be able to do Title IV funding. There's no degree necessary to be a gunsmith. there's really not any education period to be a gunsmith. If you can go through an apprentice program and become a gunsmith. A lot of good gunsmiths have done that. But we kind of fill that gap where people don't do well in apprenticeships. They want to take a course. So we don't do Title IV, but we do have payment plans for the students. We don't believe in strapping them with student loans where they've got this high interest rate for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Our highest level course is less than $6,000.
Wow.
And I'm using the old marketing strategy. It's $59.99. But that is less than $6,000.
It is less than $6,000.
The basic course, if you pay in full, is like $1,700. You don't get as many hands-on projects. You don't get to build, but it's still a very good price to learn the amount of skills that you learn. And the reason we want to keep it that way, of course, inflation is going to make us raise stuff down the road. That's just part of the nature of having a business today. But if a gunsmith coming out of school may make 30, 35 grand on his first year as he's starting to get going, why am I going to charge him $20,000 for a degree? I don't feel that that's right. So what we want to keep it affordable. We want to keep it something where it's like, hey, I feel like if I invested $6 grand in this, I could make that back in a year or two.
Yes.
Well, Zeke, another thing that they could do, I guess, is, you want to be a gunsmith, specialize, get on the AR-15 program, do the AR-15, now work on the other projects, but in the meantime, you're proficient in the AR, you can be doing that work for other people while you're learning the other things. So start with one build, learn that, and then go to the other things.
Exactly. And as far as the AR goes, we have a lot of veterans and active duty guys that are in there because we are VA and GI Bill approved. And a lot of them pick that one right off the bat. Oh, I know how to do that. I already know that one inside and out. I'm like, okay.
We're
now really learning inside and out. So, but back to the funding, that kind of hits two birds with one stone. Your answer yours with the AR, and then also the funding, VA, GI Bill, Voc Rehab. If somebody has that, they can get it approved and then go through that route. So there's lots of ways to pay for MGS, or you can just pay cash up front. We like that too. Everybody does.
So
absolutely. Yes.
So there's, good things. There's a big demand for gunsmithing right now, and there's also the other benefit is you get a lot of friends when you know how to fix something for somebody.
You're like owning a pickup truck.
Yeah.
And to what we were talking about earlier, not being a lot of them around anymore, right? Yeah. I'm going to be doing interviews, and I may do it with you guys too before I leave. I'm kind of doing a man on the street thing, where I'm going, name 5 gunsmiths within an hour of you. And most people are like, oh, well, there's Joe Smith and there's John Doe, and I can't.
Right.
And it's like, and the reason I do that is because prospective students ask me all the time, is it really a good career field? And I'm like, name a gunsmith within an hour of you that's good, that you would trust your guns with. And a lot of people can't. So yes, that means there is. Now, it becomes a very work-heavy job that you can make really good money in if you get really good at it, especially if you specialize. These engravers, these coders, all these people, you get that specialty and you lock down that niche, you're going to be doing real well. But I'll use, in North Mississippi, there's a gunsmith. I live in Memphis, so just south of me in North Mississippi, there is a gunsmith that is phenomenal. He's one of 2 within an hour of Memphis that I would trust. And there may be more. I haven't really dug too deep. I've only been there 3 years. He is backlogged 3 years.
3 years?
And that's
3 years.
Oh my gosh.
That is the thing that's irritating. You should be able to service a gun in a couple days, maybe a week or 2 weeks for parts.
Yep.
But the thing to think about is there's a lot of small gun shops that don't have gunsmiths.
Yep.
And there are people that farm that work out. So you could do the work at home.
Yep.
And so it's something to think about. But, that is the frustrating thing. We always tried to say, okay, you're going to be done in 2 weeks.
Yep.
If I need parts. If I don't need parts, it'll be done sooner than that. Because I need to get that done so I can get the next one that comes in done.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And if you are one of those customers, this guy's an engraver specialist. So he gets a lot of engraving orders. And that's kind of where he gets backed up because he makes a lot of money off engraving.
Because
it's rare. There's probably I could probably think of 10 people if I sat down and really, really thought in the United States that are great engravers.
Wow.
Right, and the thing to keep in mind with that, you want to be an engraver? Well, you can be an engraver and learn all about how to engrave on jewelry and coins and firearms, but you also need to know how to do firearms because you have to take the gun apart to engrave it.
Absolutely.
So
and when we say engravers, we're not talking about laser printers.
Right, no.
We're talking like by hand, filigree,
right.
you know,
And it's
dove. It's just unbelievable stuff they can do.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah. All right, well, we got to start wrapping up.
Why?
I know, we should just keep talking. I love it.
I'm feeling dehydrated and I'm starting to forget words.
Yes, let's get this man
That's
some
how I
liquid.
started this program.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic. All right, tell folks how they can get involved in this school. It sounds like a no-brainer to me. Even if it's just kind of a side hobby, it's cheap enough. You can do it from where you are. Tell folks how they can get involved.
It's simple. Go to mgs.edu. It's just the letters mgs.edu. Request more info. They can send you, our admissions reps will give you a call. They'll walk you through the process. If you know you want to do it, you can enroll online. You can just go enroll now, boom, boom, fill out all your information, figure out your payment situation. If you're VA GI Bill, our admissions reps are VA certified. So they will call you after you fill out your app. They'll see that you're a veteran or active duty, and they'll walk you through that whole process. All the paperwork you need to get, who you need to talk to, all that stuff. We don't just go, okay, great, give us our money, and then we'll enroll you. You know, it's like, it's the government, so there's processes.
Yes, there's process.
So we'll walk you through that process. And then social media, it's all just MGS Trade School. Everywhere, I'm just Zeke_Stout. You don't want to follow me. It's kind of boring. I don't post anymore.
Are you one of the instructors?
Not. I am a, what do they call it? Adjunct instructor.
Okay.
So they won't interact with me much unless we get backlogged and I've got to go in and grade some stuff. Then I'll contact the students and do that. But I do interact with students all the time at events like this. I do some student services calls. I've even done admissions calls. You know, when we get a backlog of leads coming in because we go on shows like this, which, you know, usually last time I did a show, you know, I was calling people for 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Well, Zeke's kind of a big deal. So if you get to have him as an instructor or an adjunct instructor or anything, that right there is...
It's only because I'm 6'7". She's talking about my height.
Oh, is that what it is? No, you're a big deal. So thank you so much, Zeke Stout, for coming and sitting down and teaching us about this, because there is a need. There are just more and more guns being sold all the time. The older guns, you know, they need some stuff, right? And they need somebody to fix the things that go wrong. They need love.
What is it, 130 million guns in the United States now?
That's job security right there. Yeah, exactly. That's just in his.
It's what fell off in my boat accident.
Exactly. MGS. I love it. Check it out. And everybody stick around. There's so much more coming up from the GOA Goals event in Knoxville, Tennessee.
How about you guys?